Hi, my name is Grant Lankard. My comic book is Beowulf, and you are watching Catch the Craze.
What's up, crazies? Kickstarter fans, indie comic fans, I got something for you. I have indie creators in the blue room. They're ready to talk to you about their Kickstarters. They either launched it or gonna launch. So if you really love indie comics and you want to support the little guy and see them win, well, here's an opportunity to prove it. Put your money where your mouth is. Check this out. I'm done talking. Now it's time for the indies. Let's start it up. Start it up, y'all. Start it up, y'all. Start it up, start it up, start it up, y'all.
What's up, George? Who do we have on the show today?
Oh, today we got Grant Lankard. He's got a Kickstarter, and the title of the book is Beowulf, Issue 1. It's the story of a 13-year-old girl, her cat, a millennial slacker, and a 10-ton dragon. Coming up next.
You know how I feel about those slackers and dragons. Let's get it!
This episode of Catch the Craze is brought to you by Sin Eater. Sin Eater is a campaign on Kickstarter right now. Pledge today.
Pledge today, Sin Eater. Yes, so tell us about our sponsor. How did you come across this sponsor?
Oh, he was on Facebook. I was on Facebook, and he was promoting his Kickstarter, and I told him to just reach out if he wanted, to push it a little bit. So he did, and we got together. He sent me that gift that you got there, and we were off. Yeah, John Simmons is the gentleman's name, and the Kickstarter is Sin Eater. So yeah, check that out. It's on Kickstarter right now. So definitely check that out. I believe the campaign ends at the end of March. So you guys have a little bit of time, but definitely get on there and support Sin Eater by John Simmons.
Nice. And then who do we have on the show today?
Oh, wow. I feel like I'm taking a quiz. And I'm failing. I failed the first part.
Yes.
Grant Lankard is the guest on the show today. Beowulf is his book.
Beowulf.
And yeah, that's on Kickstarter as well.
I look like a wolf that they pulled out of the bay.
Yeah. So he's going to be on the show today. He's going to be talking to us about the book. That Kickstarter ends on March 18th, so you have time to get on there and support that.
Yes,
but before we get to that, I just want to announce to everybody that the show is growing. Thanks to everybody out there. Thank you very much for the subscriptions. We're getting subscribers every day, so make sure you just keep spreading the word. Subscribe, like, comment. It helps us out. And hopefully soon I'll be in the studio with you, Sam. It looks like things are clearing up a little bit here. But also, don't forget that Forbidden is on Indiegogo right now.
Yes, Forbidden is on
Forbidden
Indiegogo.
is live on Indiegogo.
Yes.
The campaign is on there. We're trying to get funding for the coloring of issue number 0. If all goes well, hopefully the entire book will be colored. But right now, the first issue 0 of the book is the one that we are trying to get coloring for.
Yes.
So make sure you get on there.
So if you're on the fence, take a shot at it. Even at the PDF level, if you just want the PDF level. But give Forbidden a shot. It's a really good book, really good story, a lot of heart. And pledge today. We have 24 days left. We're at the 52% mark. And I know we can get to the 100% mark by this weekend. But I need you to do it. So support Forbidden, support the Crazies. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Crazies.
Yeah. I was just to say that.
I just placed the order for the pinups and the comics and the stickers and everything, the rewards, and I got one of the pinups in today.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Nice. Which one?
I got the one with the moon in the background.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, 11 by 17. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
Crazy.
Good stuff.
That was like rapido. I was like, what?
Rapido.
I was like, what is this box? There's a big old box. I said, what is this? It's like, and I'm looking to see who the sender is. It doesn't say it. And I'm like, I was like, I didn't order anything, and the other thing says it's coming March 5th. So
wow.
So I looked. I was like, oh, I have to order the sketch cover. I haven't done that yet.
Big shout out to it's Mixum, right? That's who you used.
Yes.
Big shout out to them, man. They are really on point when it comes to their shipping, because we got the first issue of the Crazies early, and now it looks like the second issue is on its way. So
Yes.
for all of those who pledged, thank you very much. As you can see, things are starting to come in. So you guys should be getting your books fairly soon.
Word.
Surveys are still out there. So if you haven't sent out your survey, if you haven't responded to your survey, we need your address. Otherwise, how are we going to get that to you?
Survey says.
Impossible.
Yes.
So
yes.
definitely
Yes.
get those
If
surveys
you don't,
in.
So if you are one that you get to pick a sticker, if you don't answer the survey, we're going to throw in the sticker that we have. If you're anybody that had a survey that was supposed to tell me what you wanted on the sketch card, if you were the ones who qualified or got that reward level, I'm gonna have to do it. And just draw one of the characters and send it to you, because it's gonna be a cutoff where we just have to start shipping everything out. So and we're hoping to get everything to you guys early. And I haven't got it. If you have feedback, we sent you the PDFs. I'd love to hear your feedback if you read it, what you thought about it. I got feedback from my brother. He loved it. He says that that we remind him of these two guys. It was a show. It was a live TV show. I don't know what it was, but he couldn't remember it. But he goes, it reminded me of that. I was laughing. It was really good. So
nice.
I was like, all right,
That's
cool.
awesome.
And my brother is not into comics at all. At all. When we grew up, he was into baseball cards. He wasn't into action figures. He's the one who threw my stuff away. He was only into baseball cards. That was it. And then dancing and modeling and all that other stuff. But he was never into comics or any of that stuff. Star Wars, none of that stuff. And so for him to give me feedback, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's good, man. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, we're having fun writing the Crazies, and I guess it's coming through. It's coming through in the finished product. And big shout out to JC Grande. Thank you very much for his work on the book. He actually had I think he had like a COVID scare recently. So I'm glad that he's doing okay. Yeah. So big shout out to JC, man. He's been pumping and grinding, and he bust those pages out very, very fast. So
I don't see nothing wrong.
Oh wow.
With a little bump and grind.
Wow.
So
Jesus.
You just said he was pumping and grinding. I don't know.
He was pumping. But yeah, so that's the crazy. That's on the crazy side of things. Oh, also, if you guys pledge to the Crazies, you probably got an update that sent you to a launch page, and that launch page is for issue number 3 on Kickstarter. So we've already started the process. April 29th is the date that the Kickstarter will go live, but you guys have received, if you pledged, obviously you received an update. There's a link on there. Hit that link, follow the launch page so that you are one of the first, because you want to be one of the first to pledge, as there is a very, very big incentive, and we'll talk more about that on our live show next month in April. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. And if you haven't pledged to the Crazies, there is a link on the Crazies Instagram page for that launch page. So follow the Crazies on Instagram, go to the bio, and hit that link.
Yes, but you are forbidden from following the Crazies until you pledge to Forbidden. So, so help us.
Like,
yes,
don't give them that option.
Yeah, I know. So yes, if you're watching this, please give Forbidden a shot. Go hit the link that's below. Head over to Indiegogo and check out Forbidden. It's a modest goal, and I can't make it happen without you. I mean, if we don't make the goal, we're going to produce it in black and white. And if we make the goal, we'll produce it in color. But it's already illustrated, it's already lettered, it's already inked. It's just not colored. So it all depends on you. So I'd like to get the whole thing colored and in everybody's hands, but if not, it'll be in black and white.
Yeah. So no, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit more about Forbidden. We're not done with Forbidden yet. People don't tune away. We got about good 20 minutes, before our guest gets here.
He's here.
He's already here.
He's already here. He's anxious. He's ready to promote his Kickstarter.
Oh wow! Yeah. All right. Well, then definitely pledge to Forbidden.
Yes.
I think the link is on Catch the Craze, right, on Instagram for it.
For Forbidden.
Yeah.
The Forbidden. It's on the Art of Sam Vera and it's also in here right below. The link is there. And the link is everywhere. If you go to crazycomics.com, the link is there.
That's right.
But I gotta work with
Sure.
YouTube algorithms because when I type in Forbidden, I'm not YouTube, Google. When I type in Forbidden, I get Forbidden Planet, the comic
Yeah.
book store, and I get some vintage Forbidden comics. But I don't get mine unless I put my name in it, which
Gotcha.
is crazy. So I gotta reach out to the almighty Google and say what's up.
So if you are wondering how to get to the Forbidden page on Indiegogo, there are very, very simple steps that you can do. There are a few of them. So you can go to Indiegogo.com. That's INDIE gogo.com.
And bingo,
And
what's his name?
type in Forbidden Comic. That'll take you right to the page. Click on that and then pledge. You can go to our social network sites on Instagram. It's The Art of Samuel Vera. It's Catch the Craze. It's Medina Whip on Instagram. All of those handles have the link on there. Go to crazycomics.com. Go to my website, get your meds with a Z.com. It's on there. So there are different ways to get there. So
And I
make
know
you
after
get
heering
there.
all that, you want to take a drink. You're like,
Yeah, no, I
how
got
many
my water.
places do I have to go? First you said make a left. Now I gotta make a right. Which one is it?
Hey, I'm just saying there are options. Indie gets everywhere. It's everywhere. So there's no reason not to. So definitely get on there, support Forbidden, make sure that we reach our goals so that we can get this thing colored and in your
Word.
hands in full color. It's gonna be
Yes,
nice. It's
help
gonna
a
be
brother
nice.
out.
You want it in color. You want it in color. So
Look, if we make the goal, I will go live with my hair down.
live with your hair down.
Yeah, my hair is like down to here. I've never showed my hair on any of the podcasts. If we make our goal, I will do the live show thanking everybody with the hair out.
With a sin cosplay on.
With the locks. The locks are down to here.
Oh,
Crazy.
man. Yo, no, definitely check out the campaign Indiegogo.
Yes.
Check
So,
that out. So,
with
do
that
we
said-
want to bring in our guest?
Yes, we're gonna bring in our guest right now. Let me get this. Boom, boom, boom.
Start it up, y'all. Start it up, y'all. Start it up, start it up, start it up, y'all.
All right, we're back with Cast the Craze podcast. We have a very special guest on the show who has a book called Beowulf. He is promoting now on Kickstarter, and it's on fire. Welcome, Grant Lankard.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
Good, man. How's it going with you? How you doing over there?
It's going good. Like we were talking about, the Beowulf is successful.
Yes.
It's getting backers. You know, you always have that fear that you're going to be one of the, what is it, like 6 or 7% of people who get zero backers. And, you know, that's always your fear, that you're just going to hear cricket sounds. And
Yeah.
so far we haven't heard that. So
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. So Grant, are you working alone on this project, or do you have a team?
So a gentleman from Portugal named Antonio Brandão, he's a professional penciler. He's doing the pencils on it. I'm doing everything else.
Okay.
And we have an editor named Jason Snyder.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wrote the comic book. I'm doing the inks. I'm doing the colors. So doing most of the stuff.
Yeah, it looks great, man. Looks beautiful. I see some of your preview pages on the Kickstarter. It's beautiful, man. I love it. It's very, very nice. Very well done. Congratulations on this. Yeah, excellent. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Grant. Introduce yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Grant Lankard. I'm from Western Pennsylvania. I grew up in the 90s during, the exciting period of comic books. Or I shouldn't say the exciting period. It was a exciting period. I mean, when you look back on some of those comics, they were pretty ridiculous. But at the time, it was kind of exciting to be a 13-year-old when all that stuff was going on.
Yeah.
So it was a time when, like, comic book artists were being treated like rock stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I grew up wanting to be a comic book artist. And then when I graduated from high school, I kind of got talked out of it by like guidance counselors and teachers and stuff. I went to school for graphic design. I ended up getting a cubicle job, which just did not bring the satisfaction that I was hoping for. I continued doing comic books, like anthology comic books, I've been featured in in an anthology called Yeet, and I also put out my own anthology. It was called Lines and Squiggles. Um, so then when the pandemic happened, and I finally wasn't in a situation where I had to work 40 hours a week just to make things get by. I had a lot more time, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to take the plunge and put out this comic book that I've wanted to for years. So I started working on the comic book. I started writing the script, all that sort of thing. Then I found a comic book artist, a professional penciler named Antonio Brandau on Facebook, and I hired him to help me with the art. And it's been about 3 or 4 months that I've been working on this now, and issue 1 is now up on Kickstarter. And issue 1 is completely finished. All I have to do is send it to the printer as soon as the Kickstarter's over.
Beautiful, man, beautiful. But let me go back a little further, like back in time. When you said you were growing up in the '90s, now we were talking about the Image boom, right? Like where you had all of these Image artists. Who was your favorite out of the guys that split up and started Image? Who was your favorite artist?
You know what? He's not the one that most people think of, but I think Eric Larson was my favorite one.
Savage Dragon.
Savage Dragon was my favorite character, anyways. I don't know if he was my favorite artist, but Savage Dragon was definitely my favorite. And looking back on it, I think it's cool that it's still going on to this day. And I think looking back on it, I think it was probably the best written one. Yeah.
Well, he was one of the only ones that actually did the entire, right? He just kept doing everything. He did all the colors, the pencils, he started sourcing it out towards the end, but at the beginning, he was doing everything, I think, right?
And it's crazy. He's done like 250 issues in a row.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
Wow, that's got to be. You got to have some type of work ethic.
Yeah,
to do that.
I was a big fan of his work when he was doing work on Amazing Spider-Man, because I was collecting it at the time when he was working on it, and obviously I remember the boom in the 90s. It was, you're right, they were rock stars. They were rock stars.
Yeah, there were a couple times where like they went to comic book conventions and they were mobbed just like the Beatles were.
That's insane, right? Think about that.
Crazy. You guys are 90s kids too?
I'm more. What would you say you are, Sam?
I am 2000s. No, I'm just joking.
2000.
No. So
he's like 2020.
No. We were older during that time. But
I didn't want to out you guys like or anything.
Thanks, Grant.
Yeah, no, right? You see that? This show is over. We were definitely impacted by it. We were budding. We were just getting into the comic industry at that time.
Yeah, I'm more of like an 80s kid, I think, because I was born in the late 70s. So okay. I'm more of like an 80s kid. Like I was watching, cartoons like He-Man and Thundercats and like those cartoons. So but when the boom, when like the big boom of Image happened, I think I might have been in high school when that happened. So
It started with that Rob Liefeld commercial.
Remember that?
That was when I was like, oh, yes, I know. I was like, it's over. Comics broke in, because before that, comics were taboo.
Cool.
And you were a nerd. You were a goofball.
They made it cool.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
And that was the other thing about them. It was just cool seeing them, like the fact that they didn't wear like a shirt and tie to work. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I remember just like as a kid seeing that and thinking like, God, I want to be exactly like those guys when I grow up.
Yeah. So you got into graphic design, right, Grant? So
yeah.
That obviously helped you with the designing the logo and doing all of that kind of stuff on your book. So tell me a little bit about how you got into graphic design. Like, was it after your counselor said, you know what, give up on comics, do something else? You were like, nah, okay, I'm gonna do graphic design instead. How did that happen?
Yeah, so it was like in theory, I thought, that's a creative job. Like it seemed like a good compromise. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. I can be creative, but also get like a steady paycheck. Right. And I don't know. I don't think I predicted just how frustrating it can be. Like when you have when you have a boss telling you how to be creative. Yeah. That's what I find really frustrating. And like the thing that's really frustrating is having like your boss might not be a graphic designer, but he still gets to tell you whether or not you're designing something right or wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, I still do quite a bit of freelance work.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like having like a 9 to 5 job,
Yeah.
where I have to get up every day and do that, that's just not for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and it's a great skill to have, Grant. Like just the skill to be able to go in there and do what you got to do as far as your own design work and your own, in the book that you're working on. So I think that's great.
I think you're right. Like you said, I did the logo. I've been laying out the pages.
Yeah,
Those are all skills, I don't have to outsource.
right. Yeah, and that helps, and that's probably why your book is already complete. Tell us a little bit, and I don't know, Sam, you have a question? I don't know if I don't want to.
No, go ahead. I'll step in when I. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, my question for you, Grant, was also your artist, right? So he's from Portugal. You obviously live in the United States. How did that work out? How did you find him, and how did you guys communicate back and forth?
So I just found him like in one of the various Facebook groups, like comic book artists. You just go on. All you really have to do is go on there and say, "Hey, can I get like some portfolios and rates?" And so we started working together. So I don't give him a full script. I like draw out my pages, and I write like the dialogue in like the margins, and then I send it to him because honestly, I need to be able to like visualize what's going on in the comic book. I can't make sense of, okay, why is it that this page has 7 panels, but this other panel only has 3? But the panel with 3 panels looks like busier than the one with 7. You know what I mean? Like I need to be able to see what I'm doing as I'm writing the story.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried about that. Like I asked him, like, will it offend you if I do layouts and then send them to you? And from talking to other comic book artists, usually that doesn't offend them too much. Like, I mean, I always tell him, if you have a better idea, let me know.
Sure. Yeah, I think, I mean, in a sense, you're kind of making his job a little easier because it's less thinking for him. It's like, okay, that's what you want. That's what I'll do. No problem. I'll just draw exactly what you have on this page. And I think that might make it just easier for him. But I'm glad that you found something that works, right? Because now you're happy with your layout because obviously you laid it out. And also he's like, all right, cool. Well, I'll just do what you need me to do here. Is he fast? Like, what is the turnaround time in pages now that you guys are doing it this way?
He's relatively fast. The problem is like he's super, super busy. So this isn't like the only project he's always working on like 2 or 3 projects at any one time.
Yeah.
Which is why we're trying to do this not quite bi-monthly, maybe like once every 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Which honestly for an indie comic book, I think is pretty good. I mean,
yeah. No,
most indie comic books come out once every 3 or 4 months. So
yeah. No, and you know what? It's funny because like we talked about like our ages, Sam and I. When we started in this business, the term indie was almost synonymous with the book is not getting finished. You know what I mean? It's come a long way, but if you were getting an indie comic at a convention, good luck if you were getting issue number 2. And if you got issue number 2, I don't think issue number 3 is coming out. But now, we've stepped up our game, and a lot of independents know that they have to finish. And so my question is this for you: what is the plan for Beowulf? Are you planning to make it an ongoing series, or are you thinking of maybe just we'll do 6 or 7 issues and we'll call it?
So we have a 6-issue storyline written out. I want to continue working with the character. So the character involves reincarnation.
Yeah.
So my philosophy is I can tell stories from any period in time. Like if I want to tell like a Western story, I can tell a Western story starring Beowulf. I can do like a Victorian story, like a story set in Victorian era, starring Beowulf. So after this 6-issue story arc is over, I want to do another like separate storyline still involving Beowulf, but from a different time period.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome, man. And I read the little tagline here: Beowulf issue 1, the story of a 13-year-old girl, her cat, a millennial slacker, and a 10-ton dragon. Tell us a little bit about what Beowulf is about and how you came up with the idea.
So Hazel is a 13-year-old girl who discovers that her cat is the reincarnation of an 8th century wizard. When they both have visions of a dragon waking after being asleep for 1,000 years. So Mooney has the idea to track down the legendary dragon slayer Beowulf. And the problem with that is, it sounds like a great idea, but the problem with that is that he's been reincarnated as a 30-something slacker. So he'd rather be sitting around drinking beer and watching TV than going after dragons.
Right. How did you come up with the idea?
So I was a big fan of the story of Beowulf from the time I was a little kid. Mainly, my parents had like these hardbound fairy tale and legends books, and the fairy tale or legend that really stood out to me was Beowulf, just because it already sounded like a comic book.
All right.
You know, like this guy goes out after this dragon. Something about it really struck me as just reminding me of a comic book. So Beowulf was like the character that I would like draw in my notebooks, like at school, and like, you know, during recess, if we were playing around the playground, we would come up with like our own comic book characters, and we'd pretend to be them. And Beowulf was that for me growing up. So then, like about 4 or 5 months ago, when I started working on this comic book, that was when I started incorporating other stuff like Hazel and Mooney into the story.
No, that's awesome, man. I love that you incorporated something from your childhood into what you're doing now, and you're saying you're going to take that character and maybe put him into different stories. It doesn't necessarily have to stay here. So yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So this Kickstarter is for issue 1, and are you going to be doing Kickstarters for every issue? Is that the plan?
Yeah, we're going to do at least the first 6. We'll decide if we want to do a trade paperback then, and then we're going to start. I think the first story I want to do is like maybe like a Western with Beowulf. And then, like, you know, and that'll probably be, I mean, at that point, we'll probably have, like, a few more resources, and we can maybe commit to doing, like, you know, an 80-page story or something like that, as opposed to, like, releasing them each in installments.
I gotcha. And I'm on your Kickstarter right now. I noticed that some of your rewards. So you have a reward here where you get the printed copy of the standard cover, and then you get a printed copy of a deluxe. It's like a deluxe edition. So can you tell us the difference between the two?
So the standard one is just the standard cover and just the story. The deluxe edition is going to have a few pinups and some making of material.
Nice.
And I think I said on there that I'll autograph the deluxe editions.
Sweet. So is that going to have some of like your layouts, like the way you laid it out,
right,
with like what you're talking about? That's awesome. Yeah, I always like to see that behind the scenes stuff. That's always
fun, right?
Yeah, that's always fun. So you don't write an actual script. You're basically laying everything out. So it's all visual.
I draw it all out, and I do a lot of editing.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, I write it out, and I'm editing right up till like
lettering.
Like pretty much to the point of like when I send it to the printers, I'm gonna be still like maybe that dialogue could be a little bit better, you know.
Yeah. What's your background in writing? Do you have did you take any classes in school about like creative writing, or is that just something that just naturally came to you?
I don't have a lot of experience with writing. I of course did the anthology stories like I was saying earlier, but yeah, I'm mainly more visually oriented, so I think the stories just spring from that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I love the style, and the coloring is awesome, dude. Like this, I like the palette you guys chose. You chose it's beautiful. Thanks.
Man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it works well with the book.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, no, I love the way it looks. I'm definitely gonna pledge to your Kickstarter campaign. I definitely want to check it out, and everybody watching should also do the same. I can't wait. So this one is over March 18th is when it's done, right?
Exactly.
March 18th, and then because the book is already completed, all you got to do is send it to the printers, and people should be expecting
Exactly.
their books soon. No, that's awesome, man. I really, really, really like what you're doing here.
Yeah, we're pretty much just waiting to see, how big of a print run we're gonna have. Like, can we get it done at like a smaller printer, or can we get it done at a bigger printer? Because if you get it done at a bigger printer, there's a little bit of a price break.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
what we're hoping, anyways.
And
Yeah, no,
who do you
I hear you.
typically use?
So for the anthology I went with Comics Wellspring.
Yeah, I've used them. They're good.
They do well.
Yeah, they're fairly quick. Like they don't take too long. I think that they're as far as like when they'll get your books in, their turnaround time is pretty fast. I felt
Right.
when we used them. What was your impression of them?
Yeah, I was happy with it. The price seemed reasonable. There was a good turnaround.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any of the books being damaged, or I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
the colors were bright.
Yeah, no, that's the important stuff right there. Because you definitely, I mean, with all the work you're putting into coloring these books, you don't want these things to come back and they're like, oh man, what the heck happened to the coloring, man? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
really.
No, absolutely, man.
Is that who you
Absolutely.
guys usually go with, or?
No, we've been using Mixin, I think.
Yeah,
Mixin.
mix them.
Yeah, Mixin is the one
They're
that we've
fast.
been using.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah, no, they're fast, man. They are.
You've
They
been
are.
happy with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the colors are vibrant. We printed our books through them, and the coloring, it didn't change from what you see on the screen. It was very, very well done, and they are fast. Their turnaround time is fast. Sam, before you came on, we were talking about how we ordered some pinups from them maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and they're already here. So
Oh, wow.
Today is what, Wednesday?
yeah, today, yeah,
I ordered it Monday, and it
Monday,
said
there
to
you
be
go, 2
delivered
days.
Friday, and it came today.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The only thing with them though was when we printed, we went to because we ordered books, we ordered pinups, and things like. They charged everything separate, right? It was like a separate shipping fee, right,
Yeah.
for everything, right, Sam?
Yeah, that's the only
So
problem.
yeah, that was weird. You
Oh,
couldn't
that-
just pay for one shipping. It was like different shipments, which is probably why they're coming in separate times, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, I noticed that like a lot of the shipping for this stuff is like way higher. I don't know why the shipping for printing is so much more
Yeah.
than just if you were print shipping, like, I don't know, like a blender or like something
Right?
like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Yeah,
weird. Maybe the weight, I guess. Maybe because of the paper weight. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe
what
that's
is.
it. I don't know.
I guess. But but no. So Grant, tell us where people can find you. If they wanna follow you on any social networks. Where are you?
So on Instagram and on and on Twitter, I'm just at GW Lankard, GWLANKARD.
Mhm.
And then on Facebook, I'm the only Grant Lankard on Facebook. So
Nice.
you can just type Grant Lankard in. You can also go to my website and sign up for my newsletter.
Okay.
The website is monarchpublishing.net.
Sweet, man. And listen, good luck with the Kickstarter. I mean, obviously you're doing great. There are just a few more days left, so I think you have about 2 weeks left of the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
March
we're in
18th
what-
is the last day.
We're in what they call the Kickstarter deadland, where it's like you might only get like 1 or 2 pledges every day, and like you're like, oh god, when am I gonna get another pledge? But like you just have to wait until like the last 2 days, and then everybody backs it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. Good luck with everything, man.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
No
yes.
problem, no
And we'll
problem.
definitely do a follow up later this year to see where you are with your series. And,
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, for future issues.
yes.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely,
buddy.
man.
Let me know when your comic book is out. I would like to take a look at that too.
Absolutely.
Perfect, man.
All right,
Perfect.
buddy.
Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate you.
Guys,
You got it.
All right, bud.
bye.
All right, so that was Grant
Sweet.
Lankard, and his book is Beowulf. Is currently on Kickstarter. Give it a look. See, give us some support. Remember, this is a show for indies, about indies. So if you're watching the show, that means you're a supporter of the indie world. So show some love. Really cool stuff.
Very, very cool stuff. I like the coloring. I really like the colors. on the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I he's got some pretty decent and reasonable levels here. They start at $1. You got a $4 pledge, a $7 pledge, 10, 19, and 50. So they're really, really simple. And I think you're getting a good bang for your buck. So if you guys are interested, definitely give it a pledge. Give it a pledge. And with that said, Forbidden a pledge.
Yes.
Get on there. Go to Indiegogo.
Yeah, so Forbidden is available both in English and Spanish. Give it give us your support. Show some love. The link is below.
That's right.
And just click that link, and the pledges start as low as $5. So before you go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts and get that latte, give Forbidden a shot. Because when you read the book, it's going to make the next latte even worth it. Because it's a great story and a great cup of joe. What more can you ask for? Right?
There you go. That sounds convincing to me. I'm going in. I'm going to pledge myself.
That's it.
Oh, man. Hey, so everybody watching, thank you so much for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share it. Thank you again for coming on.
Yes.
Make sure you're pledging to the Kickstarter for Grant Lankard. He is sounds like he's doing great things, and he's got a plan for this book, 6 issues. So can't wait to see what else he's got. And tomorrow on the show, we're going to have actually a replay of the live show that we recorded yesterday, where Jonathan Syfax and Mr. Anibal Arroyo were on the show. So check that out. That'll be this week. And next week we have the comic book school on the show.
Next week at the comic book school. And
So
again,
check that out.
so if you would like your 30-second promo to play on our show, as did the Sin Eater, it's as simple as reading this card that's on the screen right now. So the rates are affordable. Promote your next Indiegogo, your next Kickstarter, your book release party, your bar mitzvah, whatever it is. 30-second spot. We will highlight it on the show. You'll be an official sponsor of Catch the Craze, and it's as low as $5 and $10. It's up to you. So again, you're going to go out and buy a couple of drinks for the boys, or sponsor your show and get to more people you want. So I'm just saying, the boys can wait. Take care of you first, right? So I'm Sam the Crazy Man Bearer.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are